So I want to take the time in this video to explain everything that you need to know about YouTube trust scores. So I'm sure you've heard the term before if you've, been in this YouTube community or just in general if you've done YouTube videos, you probably know what a trust score is. Now, if you don't know what it is, I'm going to explain it in a second, but before I explain everything about trust scores, this is going to be a very long video. Let me just show you why you should listen to me. This channel we're running right now has $67,000. And yes, this is a real channel. Um, I'm gonna show you a ton of channels in this video. I have 36 channels we're running right now. I can see here. We have a lot of channels that we are running, right? And because I understand trust scores and how to utilize them, I basically am able to automate channels on mass scale, which is what we're doing for a lot of channels. For example, like this channel that's at $116,000. $28,000, $259,000, $452. This is a more new channel that we actually just started up recently. $6,000, and I can keep giving more and more examples. But the idea here is we use trust scores a lot, right? To be able to not just get views, but also maximize our revenue, right? Because if we have a very high trust score, YouTube will push our videos out to the algorithm, and then we will make a lot of money from it, right? So first of all, if you don't know what a trust score is, a trust score is basically, I want you to imagine like a credit card score for your channel, right? So a credit card score, basically how it works is, you basically have a score from the bank and you get scored on your credit history, right? And if your credit history is good, your score goes up and then you can receive higher loans, you can get better things from the bank. Pretty much any type of approval you want from the bank, you can get with a high credit score, right? And it helps you with a lot of things in life. Now, a trust score is basically the same thing, right? And what it does is it basically is a score that is calculated for your channel, and then YouTube decides how worthy your channel is to get pushed to the algorithm and get views, right? Because if your trust score is higher, YouTube's basically saying that they trust you to make them money, right? Because at the end of the day, this $67,000 that we generated, it's not through just us receiving money, because we're also making money for YouTube as well, right? You got to remember that when you're creating videos. So anyways, let's talk about everything you need to know about increasing your trust score, every step you need to take, everything you need to do just in general to make the most amount of money possible. All right, let's get into it. So we've kind of already defined it, but I want to go over it again in more detail because this is a long video and you should know everything if you want to be able to do this, right? So the trust score is built up over a variety of things, right? It's built up of channel history, right? And I'll be using this mouse and be writing in Chicken Scratch the rest of this video, but you guys can get the idea, right? So, it takes your channel history. It takes the actual stats of your video. It takes the analytics of other metrics on your Gmail, right? It takes how much money you've made, if you have any guideline or strikes, right? All of these things are calculated into your trust score. And if you don't know, there are over 30 different metrics on the YouTube algorithm that you need to be able to look at when you're looking at all your stats, right? So for example, right, in this video or this channel that generated nearly $300,000 in the past year, right? If we go to content here, right, you'll see that like we have long form videos here, we have click-through rates, impressions, average view duration, views, then we have like short form here, and then we have like our subscribers, our engaged views, and if we click on audience down here and we start scrolling down a little bit, you'll see like your new viewer, casual viewer, regular viewer ratio, and you'll see this for any channel that you're working on, right? And there's so many stats you can look at, like when your views are active, your device type, your age and gender. All of these contribute to your overall trust score, right? And you need to be able to calculate this into an equation to actually get that number that you were looking for, right? And there's not an exact number. It's either you just calculate if it's higher, lower, or it's kind of in the middle, right? And I'll show you how to do it in this video, right? So this video is going to be like a checklist, right? So I'm going to basically break down everything you need to do. And I want you to reflect and say, hey, have I actually done this, right? Because if you haven't, then maybe your trust score is a little bit lower, right? And maybe you need to increase it. Okay, so let's go over everything right now. The first thing you need to understand when you are increasing your trust score is you want to make sure that you are creating the actual channel yourself, or the channel you're running right now, underneath an aged Gmail, right? There's this big misconception that you need to have an aged YouTube channel, and this is not true, right? You could have a YouTube channel that is 1 day old, right? But a aged Gmail is what you actually need to be able to get pushed to the algorithm, because remember, YouTube is owned by Google, and Google's Gmail is able to basically check all of the analytics behind the Gmail that you're running on right now. If they see a new Gmail has been created, they may see that as a bot Gmail and not push out your channel to the algorithm, right? So when I am making my channels, I like making them underneath one Gmail, which a lot of people don't like, but I'll explain how to circumvent that later so you don't get banned underneath everything, right? Because what I do is I create everything underneath one super aged Gmail, right? This Gmail is like 13 years old, and then I transfer ownership of those channels, or I make myself a manager on second channels, et cetera, right? So the aged Gmail that you should have, right? The oldest, or I guess youngest, it should be is 6 months. As long as your Gmail is 6 months or older, then you should be in a good position. All right. So make sure your Gmail is 6 months. Now, how you check this is you basically go to your Gmail. You can look at the creation date, or you can go and try to find your oldest, mail that was sent, because usually you get a confirmation email when you get an email to your Gmail, and then just check to see when the oldest one is. If it's older than 6 months ago, then you're in a good position. You can start uploading videos on that channel. Now, second thing is actually going to be channel creation. Now, I'm actually going to create a channel live with you guys so you guys can see kind of how I do the process for creating the channel to make sure the trust score is set up correctly. So the first thing you want to do is actually go to your YouTube homepage, and when you click on your profile picture, you should have something here. You're going to click on switch account, and if you have made accounts before, it's okay. Scroll down until you see view all channels. Now, I have a lot of channels here, as you can see here, but if you click on view all channels, you will get prompted to a page where you can see all your channels, or maybe it's just going to be one or two if you're making a new channel, and you're going to see this option that says create a channel, right? And this is very important for the trust score, right? So when you're doing this here, I recommend you could do whatever name you want. I'm just going to make this like Devin test channel, right? And then I'll just test channel 1 because I've done this before in another video. And then you're going to create it. Now, you need to make sure you add a profile picture after you complete the steps I'm about to show you right now. So first, go to YouTube Studio, right? So click on YouTube Studio here, and then it's going to prompt you. It's going to take you to a little tutorial. And then the thing you want to do before you do anything else, don't watch a video, don't upload anything, click on Settings, click on Channel, and then click on Feature Eligibility, right? These things you need to have enabled immediately. This will boost your trust score up exponentially. If you are stuck in 0 to 30K view jail and you don't have this enabled, this could be why, right? Because trust scores help you break out of view jail, right? So if you go to your channel and make sure you have this enabled, this is going to help you exponentially, right? So like, complete steps 2 and 3 feature eligibility, because steps 1 is basically always going to be enabled. It's enabled as soon as you create the channel. Steps 2 and 3 you need to do right away. Now, you create step 2, or you complete step 2 by verifying a phone number. Do not use a Google phone number. Do not use an extra phone number that you get off the internet. Okay, if you have a phone number that you use consistently, use that. If you don't have an extra phone number because you've made it too many accounts, use your mom's, your dad's, your brother's, whoever's, right? Someone you trust. That's what I do. I actually got to the point where I had multiple phones because I had to keep creating these accounts because I maxed out mine, my brother's, my mom's, and my dad's. And I was using my friends at one point, and I was like, okay, I gotta get more phones. So that's what I did to kind of do this. Do not use a Google phone number because it'll screw you up big time. All right. Now, as for advanced features, usually you need to have a valid ID. You can also do video verification. Now, I don't recommend doing this if you look younger. Like, for example, me, I'm 20 years old. I look a little bit younger. I could pass as like a 16-year-old. So because of that, YouTube sometimes will like look at the face ID and then like potentially not verify you. You can use just a regular ID. Now, I want you guys to know about something. So if you've gotten striked, or I guess terminated before on another account, and you use that same ID that you're verifying now, YouTube will match the IDs and then they'll immediately ban your channel. So if you've been terminated, use, your dad's ID or whatever, because this is just basically verifying you're a real person. That's all it is, you know? So yeah, just, you can do that. If you don't have an ID, one of my students, he didn't have an ID and he was basically just waiting to see if he could use his mom's. And then after around 2 months, it could be anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months of just using the channel in general, watching videos on it and stuff, your channel history can also get this feature, advanced features number 3 enabled. So make sure you have this first. It's very important. If you don't have this done, this entire video is basically useless. I'm gonna be straight with you. Okay. Now, for basic info, I recommend selecting a country of residence. Select whatever country you're located in. Don't try to lie and say United States because you think it's going to increase your RPM. It doesn't. This does not affect anything. It just tells YouTube that, hey, I have a country of residence, right? Another thing as well, do not add any keywords to this, right? Because if we're trying to increase your trust score and get the most amount of views to make the most amount of money, right, we don't want to use keywords to target specific audiences unless you are a niche channel trying to target a niche audience. For example, this channel that you're watching on right now is a niche channel, right? Because I make videos on this channel explaining how I run a multitude of channels and make a lot of money, right? So I have like keywords like business and YouTube automation and e-commerce in here. Now, if you are a general channel that's trying to get the most amount of views, even a Roblox channel, a commentary, whatever, right? A ranking channel, don't put any keywords here because it's going to screw up your search and YouTube will push it to the wrong audience and you will get less views. And remember, more views equals more money. Okay, so make sure to select whatever you're located in and then the keywords here. As for advanced features, right? Advanced features, I want to make sure you guys don't mess up anything here. The main thing you want to make sure is enabled is the visual and audio enhancements. Make sure you let YouTube enhance this because it'll just basically let you upload in higher quality. And then also always make sure this audience setting is set to no, this is not made for kids, right? Because if you want to review every video, you have to do it every single time. That's pretty annoying. Make sure you say, no, this is not made for kids. And if your channel is made for kids, like you're making Cocomelon content, then you're not going to make money because ads won't be personalized and you won't make as much. So say, no, it's not made for kids. Now, that's all the settings you need to know for now. For upload defaults, you can leave all this blank. Remember, no tags, no descriptions, nothing like that. That is pretty much everything that you need to know. Now, as for language, right? Language and caption certification, I recommend just keeping this blank because YouTube will be able to do it automatically. Category, it says none here. I recommend clicking on entertainment. This really doesn't affect anything, but if you're, for example, in vlogs and you're making shorts, it sometimes doesn't push it out as much. So keep your thing in entertainment if you can. This license here, standard YouTube license, make sure this is enabled. If Creative Commons is enabled, which is the second option, it'll basically mean people can steal your content and you can't do anything about it. So make sure you have standard YouTube license enabled. And that should be pretty much everything, all these permissions, everything else, none of this really matters, anything like that. And that's pretty much everything you need for settings. Now, once you do actually complete all your settings, it should look something like this, where you have country residence as whatever you located in, no keywords, and then feature eligibility should all basically be green. This is what you want it to look like. If it doesn't look like this, fix it. Okay, awesome. Now that we have basically set up account, the next thing we need to do is actually start uploading videos, right? Well, that's what you would think, but the first thing you actually really need to do is go to your YouTube homepage and check out all of your competitors. Now, this is also a key part of your journey when you're starting to make content. You need to be able to look at your competitors and see what you're actually going to upload. So pick a niche. I'm not going to go into that in this video because this video is just basically optimizing for trust score. I'm assuming you already have a niche. If you haven't, picked a niche yet, you can watch another video on my channel to basically understand how to pick niches. But once you have a niche, what you should do is you should go to your YouTube homepage and look up all of your competitors, subscribe to them, and watch the top 30 of all of their videos, right? So look at your comp and then go to all of them, subscribe to all of them, and then watch the top 30 videos. So this is going to do two things, all right? One, this is going to push people on YouTube toward your channel a little bit. It's a tiny little bit of a difference, right? But every difference counts if we're trying to increase your trust score, right? So do this. It's going to also make your page so you can only see your competitors, and it's going to give you more inspiration for when you're making content later. Awesome. Now that you've done all of that, now we can actually get into the video creation process, right? So there's a couple different stats that you need to be aiming for when you are trying to, increase your trust score. And this is probably going to be the longest part of this video because there is a lot of stats to go over, right? Because there's different stats for different channels and there's different average view durations and length of videos. So before I actually break down every stat, I want to break down each term of the stats that are going to be the most important, and then we'll go into sub-important stats after, right? So the first stat I want you guys to understand is LOV, right? I use a lot of abbreviations because it helps me understand things. I'm a very math-oriented person, and I think it just, there's a lot of different variables here, so I want you guys to understand this. So LOV stands for length of video, right? Length of video basically means how long a video is, right? So let's say I upload a video that's 30 seconds long on YouTube. The LOV of this video is 30 seconds. All right, that's pretty easy enough. AVD stands for average view duration, right? So this is the average view duration of your video. We'll go into more channel stats and you'll be able to see a little bit more in detail, but average view duration stands for the average length of video that someone's watching. So for example, if your average view duration is 15 seconds and your length of video is 30 seconds, then we're going to get into the next stat, which is going to be our retention. And I like just saying R for retention. I'm sure you've heard this word thrown around all over, and a lot of people don't even know what this means, which is kind of crazy because everyone always talks about this, right? So we have LOV, length of video, AVD, average view duration, and then R, retention. Now, R is actually there's an equation that you need to do to actually calculate R, right? So retention is equated from length of video. So retention is actually equated from average view duration divided by length of video. So as we said earlier, right, if we have a 15-second average view duration and a 30-second LOV length of video, then we're going to have a 50% retention, right? So the math here is if you do like 15 divided by 30, right, you'll get, 0.5, and then we convert that to percentage. So that's going to be 50%. And I'll give another example here just to make sure you guys understand. So let's say our average view duration was, 30 seconds. And let's say our length of video was 60 seconds, right? Then we take our retention, which is average view duration divided by length of video, and then we are going to get 30 divided by 60 equals 0.5, which is equal to 50%. So this is how retention is actually calculated. And in the old YouTube Studio, like a couple of years ago, this was actually a feature where you can actually just look at it. But for some reason, YouTube took it out, even though it's a very important stat still. For some reason, they actually make you calculate it now. And on other platforms, like on TikTok and Instagram, they just do it for you. But YouTube makes you do math for some reason. But yeah, this is a very important stat for you guys to understand. All right, so retention is very important. And that's why I explained these two first before I explain the retention. And the last stat that is pretty important is SW, which is swipe ratio. Remember, these is for short form content. There's also, of course, like CTR, which is click-through rate. We'll go into that one a little bit more later. But swipe ratio stands for, the amount of people who have actually stayed to watch your video in a given percentage. So like if you have 100 views and 80 people who actually stayed to watch your video after 3 seconds, then you have an 80% swipe ratio. All right. I'm pretty sure you guys understood all of that. So let's go into the actual stats you need to hit in order to actually increase your trust score, right? So remember that YouTube is looking for 3 things, right? YouTube wants to, 1, make money. 2, they want to make sure they keep people on their platform as long as possible. And then lastly, they want to make sure that people are satisfied, right? And I'll go into this in a little more detail as well, but first I want to break down these stats. So the reason why these stats are the most important is because there's a direct correlation with length of video, average view duration, retention, and swipe ratio, and making money, people staying longer, and people being satisfied. Okay, so there was actually a study done by advertisements that showed that um, advertisers were willing to spend more money on 32-second videos, right? I'm sure you guys have heard this before, and this is actually recently changed, all right? So this new stat has shown, right? There was a new study that showed that advertisers are willing to spend more money on videos that actually convert on the platform. And high conversion videos are videos that people could relate with, right? So this 32-second video, right, this is actually not very important anymore, right? And if you're new to the channel, then you probably don't know what I'm talking about right now. Basically, before, 32-second videos was basically the meta. If you uploaded 32-second videos and you got like a 33-second average view duration, you would go viral. The meta has changed. It does not work this way anymore. All right. So you can upload, for example, a 17-second video. And if the average view duration was like 19 seconds, you had a good swipe ratio and a good comment ratio, you can still get a lot of views and your RPM can still be very high. Now that I'm giving you this information, what average view duration should you be hitting for and what length of video should you be hitting for? Well, there's two different categories for this. There is short videos, which I categorize as anywhere from 12 seconds to 24 seconds. And then there's longer videos, anywhere from 32 seconds to 1 minute long. Or I'll put 60 here for simplicity. All right. So these are shorter shorts and these are longer shorts. Okay. Now, shorter short form videos need to have above a 100% retention, right? So for example, if you have a 12-second video, you need to have like a 14-second average view duration. So if your length of video is 12 seconds, your AVD needs to be 14, right? If you have a 24-second video, right, and your length of video is 24 seconds, then your average view duration needs to be 25. Okay. Now, if you have a 32-second video, right, 32-second length of video, then your average view duration only needs to be 32 seconds long. It does not have to be above 32 seconds anymore. If you have a 60-second video, this is where it gets fun, right? If you have a 60-second video, right, length of video, your average view duration only needs to be around 42. Right. And by the way, these are not numbers that I'm just pulling out of my ass here. These are actual numbers that I have calculated over all the channels that I've run. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of these channels that I've run now, like, with like videos, average view duration, length of videos, now, and then I'll go back into swipe ratio after I explain this part first. So this channel has generated $116,000 in the past 6 months of us starting this channel. You can see we actually only started this channel around 6 months ago, and it's doing pretty good. 6 figures in 6 months, I think is pretty good. But we're running a lot of channels. We're pulling around this every month across all the channels right now. But I want to give you a couple examples on this channel because this has a really good outliers and it's just really good examples. So this specific short here got 160 million views, 159.9, and it generated basically $12,000, right? And the reason we were able to do this is because we had a length of video of 1 minute long, and the average view duration was above 42 seconds. And you can see it was 47 seconds here. And if we scroll down here and we actually look at the retention of the video, it doesn't look that good, right? But because this video had such a high average view duration compared to the length of video, then it got pushed out. All right. So this is kind of an example of a longer length of video with not 100% retention, but still getting, tens of thousands of dollars in revenue. All right. So this is one example here. I'm going to give another example of a shorter channel that gets, shorter videos and still generates a lot of income. So this channel in the past 28 days has generated $12,000, and in the past year it has generated $68,000. Now, what's very special about this channel is the videos that are uploaded here, the length of video is much shorter. As you can see here, it's like 15, 16, 12, 5, and we still pull a pretty decent amount of views, and we have some outliers like 1.6 million. And this video is only 10 seconds long. So let's look at the analytics of this one right here. right? So we generated $142 here, and we got 1.6 million views. And you can see here that the RPM is 34 cents, right? 34 cents, which is pretty insane for a very short video. And the reason why is because the average demographic is United States and United Kingdom. And we'll go over how to target demographics later. But the first thing I want to show you here is you can see that the engagement of this video is 15 seconds long, right? So we have a 10-second of a 15-second video. That is an 150% retention, right? Because 15 divided by 10 is 1.5. So that is kind of proof to you guys, to show you that shorter videos need to have a much higher average view duration, and it can still generate good income because it gets good RPM. And longer videos don't need as long of an average view duration, and it can still get good RPM and generate good money as well. And by the way, just for context, I guess I didn't show that in earlier. The video that generated $12,000, the RPM was 12 cents, right? Now, the reason this RPM looks a little bit lower is because once you start targeting such a wide demographic of audiences, as you can see here, the average, people who were watching was like, 20% United States and then 14% India. Because when you start getting hundreds of millions of views, it's kind of hard to target just one, high GDP per capita country. So you will start getting countries that don't have as much money, and then advertisers aren't willing to spend as much on them. But regardless, when you get a lot of views, you make more money. So now that you understand retention, average view duration divided by length of video, now we're going to go over swipe ratio. Now, swipe ratio is its own ball game, but there is a really good average of what you should be hitting for your swipe ratios. Because I've seen some swipe ratios in the 70s get 50 million views, and I've seen some swipe ratios in like the 80s to 90s plus get 100 million views. So why do some videos perform better than others with swipe ratio? Well, I'll explain it now and explain exactly what swipe ratio you need to hit in order to increase your trust score. So first of all, breaking down why swipe ratios are important, it's because people staying on the platform as long as possible. Now, remember our 3 pillars of what YouTube wants. YouTube wants to make money, people stay on the platform as long as possible, and people to be satisfied. Now, when you're trying to keep people on the platform as long as possible, the way you keep them there is actually hook them in first, right? So this is why swipe ratio is so important. Okay, now what swipe ratio should you be hitting, right? On average, I've seen that anywhere from 77 to 81.1% is the good number to be. Now, of course, higher swipe ratios are going to be better, right? Now, if you want to hit an exact ballpark every single time of like, okay, I want to get like, millions of views every single time, Devin, then you should be aiming for 80%. This is like the around the area that you should be aiming for, right? 80%. If you aim for 80% swipe ratios, then you will be in a good spot because people are staying on the platform. You're 80 out of 100 people are watching. This is a good spot to be. There's not really too much explaining here. Just aim for 80%. Now, if you want to know how to aim for 80%, we have a lot of other videos on the channel that explain, how to get good hooks, how to do good swipe ratios. But, this video is more of just, again, increasing trust scores. Also, I think it's worth mentioning now, because we're pretty deep in this video now. If you guys are getting any value from this and you feel like I could help you scale your channel further, I do have a program where if you want to apply to work with me one-on-one, you can. It's going to be linked to the first link in the description. Of course, I make all these videos for free. All these courses I upload, they're for free because I really want to just give as much information for free. But, if you do want help scaling your channel, or maybe you have a channel already and you want to scale to multiple channels, go ahead and apply to work with me, and me and my team can reach out and maybe we can work together, and scale something up. I mean, a lot of my students, that are, in this program right now, they're pulling tens of thousands of dollars right now. I can just show you this real quick. So like, these are like my student wins here, right? And you can see like a lot of my students, they're pulling like hundreds of, millions of views. Like for example, Adam, he had a 10 million 48-hour mark, and this is a new channel. Like this is 8 days of starting this channel with him, and these are my student wins here. So if you guys do want to work with me, we've scaled people like Fadalt to, tens of thousands of dollars. So, if you guys are interested, then you can go ahead and apply. Anyways, let me go back to just giving you guys a ton of value. Now, remember our three pillars of what YouTube wants, right? Making money, people staying on the platform as long as possible, and then being satisfied, right? So I haven't actually touched on this satisfied point because it actually goes into retention, right? So YouTube measures the emotion of someone being satisfied by two factors. Did they comment and did they watch the video all the way through? That is it. Likes do not matter. Subscribes or watch, subscribing to the video does not matter. Clicking on the sound does not matter. The only way YouTube is able to quantify an emotion, because remember, quantifying an emotion is a human feeling, right? And it's really hard to quantify that through a screen. And the way YouTube does it is through emotions. And they only do it through two metrics, right? The retention of the video, if they watched it, and did they comment? All right, these are the only two metrics to quantify someone being satisfied. And I see a lot of people getting confused by how do I make a viewer satisfied? Like, I want to make sure they feel good at the end of the video. And remember what I said just now again, we're trying to aim for an emotion here. All right. So if a viewer feels angry or they feel happy or they feel like curious, right? All of these are emotions, and these emotions help YouTube understand that they are satisfied, right? So being satisfied in YouTube's eyes is not actually, like satisfying ASMR or like a happy ending. It is, are they feeling something other than bored? If they're angry, happy, sad, you could rage bait them. You could cut the hook off at the end and not give an ending that makes them angry. Like, all of these are satisfied, right? And when they feel an emotion, guess what this makes them do, right? It makes them either comment, right, because they're feeling emotions, or it makes them watch the video all the way through because they want to feel that emotion again, or they are reading through the comments because they are in a swarm of emotions, right? So retention, comments, emotions, satisfied, right? So that's why I left this out and I'm explaining it now. Now, those are all the three pillars and everything you need to know about the stats, the main stats for increasing your trust score. Now, let's go into nitty gritty, right? Because I want to explain the stats in detail here. So let's explain that now. Now, this channel generated us $28,000 in 90 days of starting this channel. And this is a new channel. This is actually one of my students that I help work with. And we generated 653 million views. Okay. So this is a pretty good example of the stats you need to hit. So I want to kind of dive deep into it now. All right. So if we go to content here first and we actually scroll down, you're going to see our swipe ratio was above the 80%. We actually had an 83.1%. Now, remember, we were above that golden 81.1 ratio, so this is a really good stat we want to be aiming for. Also, you want to make sure that how viewers find your shorts is shorts feed. If viewers are finding your shorts from like YouTube search, channel pages, other features, or browse, it basically means that your shorts are too niche, right? And if you want to increase your trust score, you want to make sure your shorts are as discoverable as possible, which is why I said earlier in this video, don't have tags, don't have descriptions, don't use any type of hashtags because that limits your reach, right? And if we want to get the most reach, we want to hit this shorts feed here, okay? Now, also, another thing you want to make sure, if you go to external, you'll see that WhatsApp is probably going to be the main top contender here, or maybe Discord if you're uploading to a community. Now, if there is like some like AI bot here, like for example, like Android launcher is also like okay. If you go to see more and you actually scroll down, you'll notice that like for example, like ComBennett.Zangi here, these are all bots trying to bot this channel. All right. So these are all like bots here. Bing is not a bot, obviously, but some of these are. So you want to make sure that this external feature here does not have a lot of bots. If you're getting 0 view jail, this could also be a reason why you're stuck in 0 view jail because your trust score is cooked, maybe because you botted your channel or someone is attacking you or whatever. But yeah, this is the main reason why. YouTube search, this is also good to look at to see, more for traffic. Look at the 6-7 right here. But this is a good thing to search. If this is in your niche, this is a really good sign. If you are getting people searching the most random stuff like how to cut hair and you're uploading Roblox videos, then you are in a very bad spot to be. All right, and I'm going to show you actually the next step, which is looking at the other channels that are, uploading similar videos to you. And I'll show you that now to look at that. Also, look at remixes as well. I mean, remixes is also more for bigger channels, but if you have remix views, is also a good sign to YouTube that, you have a bigger channel and a community that's you're actually building. Other than that, that's pretty much everything you need for the content side of things. If you actually go to audience here, this is where all the nitty gritty. This is where you're going to see a lot of the analytics that you want to be looking for. So the first thing I want you guys to look at is audience watch behavior, right? So typically, I want you guys to have a 25% or above new viewer ratio. The higher, the better. Right? If it's 80%, you're in an amazing spot, right? But when you're on 25% or under, that is when you got to start worrying. Okay. The reason why is because your new viewers is shown through your YouTube homepage. Remember, if we go to content here, you're going to see the shorts feed here. This is where your new viewers actually find you. Now, if you go to audience and you see your new viewers is really high, you're in a good spot. If your casual viewers plus your regular viewers is at a very high spot, right, where you're at like around maybe 25% new viewers and like 75% of the CV and RV, which is casual viewer and regular viewer rating, collectively added, then you're in a bad spot. All right. Also, if your trust score is low, it may be because your regular viewers is too high. If you have a low view count and a high regular viewer count, that means YouTube is limiting your reach and only pushing your videos to the same amount of people. In order to fix this, what you have to do is make content so broad that it's going to reach a wide audience, or fix the other things I've shown in this video, and you'll probably fix that problem by itself by fixing the other things first. Okay, looking at channel audiences your channel watch. So you'll see here that we have the audiences your channel watch here, and all of these channels here, if we actually click on all of them here, they're actually all going to be Roblox channels, because the channel I'm showing you right now is a Roblox channel. So for example, like Catfish Blocks here, or if we let this load for a second, like Easy is all Roblox, and all of these channels here are actually going to be Roblox channels, right? So the main reason I want you guys to look at this is because if you actually end up looking at this audience channels your audience watches here, and it's not all people in your niche, then you're in a bad spot, because YouTube doesn't know who to push your audience to. All right. Now, if your channel's new, then this probably will be random. But like if you have a more aged channel and you just have the most random, like for example, like one of my students, they were uploading Roblox ranting videos, and they had this random Japanese stuff here. And it was like random Fortnite videos and like ASMR stuff, and it had nothing to do with his stuff. And I was like, that's a little weird. We should figure out how to fix this. We looked in his tags, and he had all these different tags of like hashtag viral, hashtag funny, hashtag relatable, and all these hashtags are basically pushed to the YouTube trying to figure out who to push it to, and YouTube's algorithm messed up because they were trying to push to viral, funny, and relatable content, and a push to those random channels, which is why I don't recommend using hashtags and descriptions, because YouTube will be able to find it automatically if you just leave it the way like this. Right? So make sure these channels here are actually coherent with the videos you're uploading in the channel that you're running right now. If we go down a little bit further, you'll see when viewers are online. Now, on average, I'm sure you guys will probably see this. It's probably going to be anywhere from 5 a.m. to, it should say here around like 6 p.m. Now, the channel on this channel here has been probably a little bit worse, but if you guys see that everything is high purple, that is a really good spot to be. And I'll give you another example of this now. So this is a good example of a better looking stat. Of course, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, there's always going to be less people around this time because people are having school and stuff. But like, you can see how purple a lot of my chart is, right? The higher purple chart you have across everything, the better. Again, if you see what your audience watches, these should all be related to, the actual channel that you're running. And then if we scroll down a little bit further, you're going to see formats your video, your channel watches. This should all just be basically, the purple. If this says live here, right? If this is only live, then you are in a very bad spot because your channel is only watching people who are live. Then you need to basically fix your channel by uploading more shorts. And if you're doing live streams, this actually could affect your trust score. If we go down here, your age and gender, right? So I recommend you aim for a 50-50 here. If you have a really, really aggressive, like, female or aggressive male percentage, then there may be a problem with your channel unless you're Oh, I keep having hiccups. Unless you're targeting only to, women or only to men, but, typically you want to be aiming for 50-50% because that's going to give you the most amount of reach. Now, as for your actual ages, I recommend aiming anywhere from 18 to 44 years old. This is the highest RPMs here. The older, the better, honestly. But 18 to 44 is like a good spot to be. Now, as for device type, if you're doing brain rot content, you actually should see a huge increase in tablet and TV content, right? So there's actually a really large amount of people who watch shorts through the TV and through the tablet. So if you're making like Roblox content, for example, this tablet and TV content should be higher. But on average, these should be pretty skewed with like maybe anywhere from 65 to 75% of the people watching from mobile. For top geographics, you should be aiming for United States, of course. And unfortunately, this channel does not have United States, which is why the RPM is pretty low. But this channel still made $28,000. And then that is pretty much everything that you need to know for your analytics to make sure you're getting the most amount of money and increasing your trust score. Now, if we go to revenue here, I recommend making sure you're keeping up to date with your shorts RPM. I also want you guys to understand that these engaged views are always going to be like 50% of your average views. I see a lot of people worrying about it, like, oh gosh, maybe my trust score is bad because I'm getting a billion views and I'm getting 500 million engaged views. Like we got like 680 million views on this channel, and we got like 330 engaged views. So usually around 50%. So yeah, that's what I would be aiming for here. And that is pretty much everything that you guys want to be looking for when you're looking at your analytics. Now, the next part of this video is going to be understanding how to actually title, descriptions, and tags and everything else when you're actually uploading the video, and also talking about some features on YouTube that you can use and if it's going to affect your trust score and if you should use it or not. So here, I'll go into it right now. If we actually go to a channel that you're running, so if we actually go to this video here, if we go to the details, you'll see where you can actually edit everything over, right? So I like using vidIQ for like basic ideas for long form, but for short form, it does not matter, right? So you can do anything like mass, morph, troll, lol, or whatever. It could be whatever you want, right? If you're doing ranking, it could be like ranking best moments, ranking best dog moments, and that's all you need to do. Titles don't really matter for YouTube. YouTube search doesn't matter. You can use don't click the sound with a crying emoji. Those work as well. But more importantly, do not have descriptions and do not have tags, right? So you can see here, I don't have any tags or any descriptions or anything like that because it's going to limit our reach. Now, should you use related videos? I've seen a lot of people ask, like, should I do it? Should I not do it? I like using related videos to push people to my videos. I've seen people like complain saying like it drops retention. I'm gonna be honest. If you're making a good video, your retention will not drop. This does not decrease your trust score. It is a YouTube feature. YouTube will not put a feature intentionally to decrease your trust score. If you use related features, it is perfectly fine. Okay. Now, as for collaborations, I learned this more recently as experimenting with a lot of different channels that we're running right now. For collaborations, you want to make sure that if you are going to do a collaboration, it's with another channel in a similar niche that is already doing well, right? If you have two channels, one channel you just started today and a channel you've been running for a year, and you upload a video on the video channel you've been uploading for a year and try to collab with the new channel, it'll break down the views for both of them. The views will go down, right? Only do collabs with channels that are doing just as good or a little bit worse, right? Now, if your channel is already doing decent, like let's say you're at like 30,000 48-hour mark and it's already warm, right? And you do a collaboration, it's in the same niche, then it'll actually propel your channel forward, as some of my students like Ian and Tony have done in their experiments in our program as well. Is there anything else? Now, as for actually the upload times you need to be, uploading, because, uploading every single day is important. And there also is a frequency that what you should be uploading on, right? So some of my channels, we don't upload every single day. And the reason why is because the production quality of those videos are so high, it takes days to make, right? And we have like 7 people in place to make one single video because there's scripting involved. People need to be in certain places. There's a lot of stuff that goes involved when you're making a 100 million view video, right? So when you are actually uploading, the upload frequency you should be aiming for is one video per day when you're starting for the first 3 days. Then you should be uploading 2 videos per day after 3 days for 3 days. And then you can go from anywhere from 3 to 5 videos per day moving forward after that. That's the upload frequency I like. If you're wondering what times you should be uploading, I like uploading anywhere from 8 o'clock a.m. EST to 6 p.m. EST, right? I've had videos I've uploaded before, do pretty good, in the 8 o'clock range, like 8 p.m. EST. So like if you want to do an 8 p.m. upload as well, you can, but I don't really like doing it because I've seen videos perform better before 6 p.m. But if you need to, upload at 8 p.m., all right, if that's what you need to do. But 8 p.m., 8 a.m. EST to 8 p.m. EST, that is the main schedule I'll be uploading for. Now, as for frequency of how much times you should upload and what times, do a 45-minute interval between each upload. So if you upload a video at 8 o'clock, the next video should be at 8:45 or longer, right? 8:45 minimum. If you want to upload every 3 hours or every 2 hours, you can do that as well. But don't upload a video unless it's 45 minutes after you've uploaded the previous video. All right, so that is for upload frequency. Make sure you do this because if you don't do this, so you're uploading too frequently in a shorter time frame, you could decrease your trust score. If you start uploading too quickly when you make a new channel, you can decrease your trust score. And some of these are permanent, right? If you accidentally screw up with this, it's kind of hard to rebuttal. But majority of the problems that I went over in this video, remember, your credit score is something that you can fix, right? When you have a decrease in your credit score, usually you can increase it, as we talked about earlier. So, your trust score, there's not an exact number, but if you follow everything I talked about in this video and everything like the checklist and everything like that, you will see your video views go up. All right. Now that we've gone over basically everything you can do to increase your trust score, you also need to understand everything you should not do to decrease your trust score. Because just as quickly as it can go up, it can go down if you mess something up, right? So here's everything you should not do. The first thing you should not do, I'm just going to say no-goes for this here, no-goes. The first thing you should not do is do not miss a day, all right? If you do not have a high monthly audience, you will have a decrease in views, right? And I've noticed this for even my biggest channels. I'm talking 600 million views per month. We miss, a couple days because we're trying to upload the quality of videos. Our monthly audience goes down, right? And if you don't know I'm talking about monthly audience here, I'll show you real quick, right? So monthly audience is this right here that's calculated. You can see here we started missing some days on this channel here, and our monthly audience just kept decreasing, right? Our monthly audience before was like 72 million, right? And we were pulling billions of views on this channel. Billions. I'm talking billions of views here. So because we had so many missed days, the monthly audience decreased exponentially. As you can see here, it's been kind of just going down, right? Because of missed days. That is because the production quality of that channel was so high, right? So if you miss days, you will have a decrease in trust score. So do not miss days. It is so important. This is like the number one thing, all right? If you miss days, like you uploading every single day is a top priority. Like in my Discord, I ping people every single day at everyone, upload today. In my students, I'm pinging them, yo, upload today, bro. Yo, did you upload today? Or he uploaded today, great. So make sure you guys are uploading every single day. The second thing you need to make sure you don't do is don't do long titles. Pretty basic, just don't do long titles. It's really hard to read, and then on the YouTube homepage you can't read it as well, right? So pretty basic stuff. We were doing this before, but no tags and no descriptions as well. I'm just gonna say no T/D, tags and descriptions. Don't use tags, don't use descriptions. You don't have to use hashtags. You can use hashtags if you want. It helps you target in the beginning. I'm not opposed to it. I've seen some IShowSpeed channels and I've seen some Roblox channels do good with tags. I personally don't use them, but tags in the actual YouTube itself, right, in the actual studio and description is a no-go. Do not do it. Now, link the videos. Do not upload a video that is below 4 seconds long. If it is less than 4 seconds, or equal to, you are in a bad spot. Like, I don't even like uploading 5-second videos. I'm gonna be straight. But I've had some 5-second videos hit like, 15 million views. It still didn't make a lot of money, but don't upload a video below 4 seconds long or at 4 seconds. If you're gonna upload something short, do it at 5. What's next? Another thing, do not steal people's videos. If you straight up steal someone's content bar for bar without any, reformative anything, it will just plummet your trust score to the ground. You will get 0 view tailed, right? Because stealing content, YouTube has a pixel detection system, all right? If the pixels detected on your video are pretty much identical to another video, you will get straight up shadow banned, all right? So do not upload anyone else's videos. If you're doing ranking videos, make it informative, add sound effects, add other effects, switch up the clips. This is why for my ranking students, when I'm asking them to upload videos, I tell them, like, do not upload the exact same clips in the exact same order. Like, you gotta upload different orders because the pixel detection is insane, right? So, like, do not steal people's content. Also, if you have a video flop, there's probably a good reason why, right? And usually the reason why a video flops, there's 2 reasons. Either you did these previous things here, right? Or you uploaded sexual content. Do not upload sexual content, all right? YouTube is a children platform, right? I see a lot of people trying to be cheap and upload this like sexual content. It's not good for YouTube. Don't do it, right? 1, it's immoral, right? 2, it just YouTube doesn't like it. They're not gonna push it for kids. It's not good for advertisers. Okay. Also, uploading videos like gambling stuff as well. It does okay if you do it correctly, but like straight up casino gameplay also doesn't do well. It'll also decrease your trust score. But like if you have any type of flops, it's probably because you're uploading like sexual content. Don't do that. All right. Um, like even like saying words like bikini or anything like that, that'll decrease the trust score of your video. I'm probably decreasing the trust score of this video as I'm saying them right now. It's kind of funny. These apply to long form as well, by the way, but this is like mainly short form. Okay. What else? Also, uploading too frequently. I remember I told you about the 45-minute intervals. If you upload like 5 videos within 1 minute, it'll be seen as spam. So don't upload videos too quickly because you'll be marked as spam. Also, don't like spam if you are going to do descriptions, you don't want to listen to me. Don't spam your descriptions either. Another thing is like in your actual YouTube bio, make sure you're not using hashtags. And then, yeah, those are the main things that you shouldn't be doing, right? Those are the no-goes to make sure you don't accidentally screw up your channel. Also, I want to talk about some misconceptions because there are some misconceptions about, increasing or decreasing your trust score that I want to go over real quick. And then we can basically wrap up this entire trust score course. And you guys pretty much have everything you need to know, right? So for some misconceptions, right? I'm just going to say miscons. So misconceptions, is pretty important. Again, like the aged Gmail we talked about in the very beginning, like you do not need an aged YouTube channel to increase your trust score. Aged YouTube channel is a myth. You don't need an aged YouTube channel. I've had videos I made or channels I made on like the same day, and then I uploaded a video and it got like 146 million views, or was it 160 million views, something like that. It was an insane first video. So like you do not need an aged YouTube channel at all. Aged Gmail is what you need. Remember that. Another misconception is you need people to like and subscribe. You do not need people to like and subscribe. High like and subscribe ratios are vanity metrics. Likes and subscribes do not matter. Liking the video, subscribing to the channel, it does not matter. Like I could even ask you, like, hey, you watched an hour of this video. You should subscribe probably because I give a lot of free value like this. Or you should like this video. But I'm gonna be honest, it does nothing for my channel. It's not gonna push out this video more. You know what I mean? And the reason why is because It's a vanity metric. It doesn't matter. Now I will tell you what is a actual metric is comments. Comments is like the most powerful CTA you can use. And I've explained this in other videos, but like if you're gonna do CTA, do a comment because comments create other comments and it's a snowball effect. And also comments keep your retention of your video because if people are scrolling and watching the comments, your watch time increases, which gets more people on the platform. Remember again our 3 pillars of YouTube. It's money, people staying on the platform as long as possible, and satisfied. Satisfied is through retention in the comments. People being satisfied, you can keep people satisfied through more emotions through comments as well. I think that's everything. Another misconception is you need to have like a United States Gmail or you need to be in the United States or a high GDP per capita country to be able to, increase your trust score. You can do this anywhere in the world. I have students from Jamaica, from Croatia, from Switzerland, I have people from Denmark, people from India, and these guys are pulling tens of thousands of dollars every single month. So you don't need to be in a specific country to be able to increase your trust score. Country or location does not matter at all. Also, another thing, you can upload on your computer and your phone, and it does not matter, right? You can upload from different IPs on different devices, and it does not matter, right? I have 36 channels, and I have 6 managers who upload from like Ethiopia and India. Those are where my managers are located. And like my editors who have access to my channels upload them there too. Never affected a video once. So location doesn't matter. The device you're uploading on doesn't matter. None of it matters. Now, the quality of the video you're uploading matters. Make sure it's a 1080p video, right? Don't upload lower quality videos. Lower quality videos, I forgot, I should probably mention this here in the no-goes. Lower quality videos will actually decrease your trust score as well. Like the actual pixels on the video. And the last misconception I want to talk about is doing one of these is not going to immediately increase your trust score. You have to do all of them, right? So I hope this video was helpful. Guys, I went over a lot of stuff here, right? So if you actually did it, like this video and it helped you out, and maybe you want to work with me, again, go ahead and apply to work with me one-on-one. It's going to be the first link in the description. I've been doing YouTube for 8 years. We've generated $115,000 in revenue last month. I've generated 26 billion views in my content creation career. And I've shown you a lot of channels here and a lot of different examples, but I hope this video is just helpful in general because I see a lot of people just giving all this like water advice and generic advice, and like I want to set myself apart by just like dropping all of it. So everyone's trying to sell a course. I'm just trying to just give as much value as I can. So anyways, yeah, I hope it was helpful. If you guys did enjoy this video, you can drop a comment for me. I would appreciate it. And yeah, I also have a free course as well on this channel. I think today's day 9 of the free course actually here. Let's check it out real quick. Yes, if you actually go to the channel and you click on courses here, you're gonna see like a course material here. It's free. Like all of it's free. I don't sell courses. I think it's a little weird, but you'll see like all this stuff here. I also have a second course. It's a little more outdated, but it still has some good information. If you want to look at it, there's like 33 videos. It's an 8-hour course on my channel. Like if you actually go to, I probably should upload it on this courses thing here, but it's gonna be like on like the playlist over here. There's gonna be like the view maxing playlist, and then there's also student success if you want to see the success of some of my students. We have a lot of students in the program now who are making a lot of money, but yeah, I mean, anyways, I hope this video was helpful. I know you guys have been asking for this for a long time, and this is gonna help a lot of you guys out, right? So use this as a mental checklist when you're making channels in the future. If you forget something, you see your views are low, look at this video and try to understand where your trust score is at. Because if your trust score is low, it may be because you're missing one of the many things I talk about in this video, because there's a lot, you know? And I want you guys also to keep in mind, like, I did all this with no notes. I want to throw that out there. I did no notes. This is all just from my head, because I've been doing this for so long. Like, I live and breathe this, bro. Like, this is my life work. I've spent basically 8 years. I'm 20 now. You know, I spent 8 years of my life just doing content, and you know, of course, I didn't go to college and stuff like that, but you know, you can watch the rest of the videos to understand that. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in day 10 of the View Maximizing Bootcamp, because this is only day 9. We're doing 30 days of this. So I'll catch you guys on day 10. Again, if you want to apply to me, to work with me one-on-one, go ahead and click the first link in the description. Love you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Subscribe. All right, bye-bye.